side, and I'm not voting for you. In town halls and forums, if someone don't want to speak to you now, they won't speak to you when they get elected. You won't see them again. Some come out right now and ask you to vote for them, but they don't want to show up in a town hall and speak to the community and to the citizens why they're voting. Why should they vote for him? Why are you running? It's critical that these questions have to be answered. So we have to get out and make sure we push those candidates out and knock on your door. If you can't go to them, they need to come to you. If they can't get to you, well, they should not be running. That's the bottom line. A chicken sandwich and a fish fry don't take care of you after election. That don't take care of you. Yeah, it's nice to have at those places because you're coming from work and stuff like that. But don't go there just for the food. Go there for the information.
And if you are just joining us, I have to admit, y'all, we have been not on record the whole entire time. But if you're just joining us, thank you for joining today's Spotlight, which is brought to you by the Georgetown branch NAACP. We have 3 really exciting topics today that you need to, I say exciting, but it's in terms of exciting in terms of urgency. It's urgent. We talked about the Santee Cooper lawsuit settlement distribution. Please make sure that you send a email to the city at Santee refund 2024 at georgetownsc.gov. Make sure you send an email by April the 19th, which is Friday, to get a credit on your future electricity bills. We talked about that. We also talked about the housing situation over at Place by the Bay. People have been already evicted from that location to turn it into more higher end living spaces. It's not going to be an affordable living situation for at least 50 families over in that area. And we're wrapping this on up with elections. And Mr. Neil here has talked about elections. If you are seeing this right now, please make sure that you share this information with those who you love, those who are in your community. If you're not from this community and you know someone that's in or around Georgetown County, share this information with them. And now we're just going to move straight on into, is there anything else that somebody wants to talk about or wrap up before we get into our announcements?
Vote. Just vote.
Can't sit down on your vote, man. You cannot sit down on your vote.
I'm glad you said that. Some people don't know why they should vote. I'm going to give you a few reasons why you should vote. We have the hate crime bill. We're only one of a couple of states that has not passed the hate crime bill, but yet they passed open carry. They're giving people the right to arm themselves without education, okay? To even hunt a deer or fish or hunt for turkey or any type of wildlife, you have to go through hunter's education. But to carry a gun with the intent of possibly killing somebody, you don't even have to have any education, no type of license or anything. But then we don't have a hate crime bill. All right. Thank you for joining us, Miss Lily. I'll wrap back up and tell you what's going on with Santee Electric in just a second here. But back on the voting, get out and vote, because you have women's rights up in the balance. You have healthcare in the balance. The current governor has just turned down the summer lunch program. So this summer, if you have any children or grandchildren or nieces or nephews that were getting summer lunch before, 9 times out of 10, there's a possibility that if they don't get it this year, they're not going to get it for future years coming up. Why should you get out and vote? Because we're having conservation and environmental issues. We're having affordable wage issues. Okay, people aren't making enough money to be able to afford where they live, which is why the energy rates are going up so high. So many different reasons. You got book banning. Those are reasons why we need to get out and vote. And thank you so much, y'all. We have a viewer here, Miss Lily. Thank you for joining us today on Spotlight. What's going on with Santee Cooper? A lawsuit settlement refund has been given to the city. And if you live in the city, they owe you some money. I don't know how much it is because it's been very vague as to whether people should be getting a refund for 2 distributions that they were given. You're going to have to send an email to Santee Refund 2024 at georgetownsc.gov in order to get this refund. And you have to send the email by this Friday, April the 19th. Again, if you know of anyone, please send a quick email with your name, your account number, and they'll figure out what the rates that they need to be crediting you back on your future electricity bill. So hopefully that answers your question there. If not, just call the city of Georgetown, and I'm sure someone will be happy to go over that with you. Thank you so much for that question. If you have any questions, please post them. We'll be happy to try to address them as quickly as we can. To the announcements. Just know that there'll be a press release tomorrow at 4:00 at 2222 High Market Street for those individuals that were displaced, 50 families at Place by the Bay. And you're welcome, Miss Lily. And we need to talk about that because affordable housing, it looks like the county, the city, nobody's really putting up any initiatives to help our area with affordable housing. More and more people are being displaced from our area, while people who are from other areas are moving in that have more money, have made more money, and pushing the people who are native to this area out. Those are some of the consequences of voting and not voting. One of the consequences that we're dealing with right now in terms of announcements. Who's heard that the current superintendent is leaving the school district? Let's talk about that.
Talk about consequences of voting. Indeed, you have a school board who basically selected the least qualified candidate of all of the 3 finalists, who happens to be the only white candidate and did not meet the qualifications. So take that as you will. But this individual, Mr. Price, basically used Georgetown, as so many others have said, even in the article release, as a stepping stone to get to bigger and better things. We need to hire individuals who are actually invested in our community and who actually care about the children and the individuals who work in Georgetown County School District, because this should serve as a reminder that the friend and family discount don't work in public service.
I agree wholeheartedly, y'all. He's moving on. If that's what he wanted, congratulations. Again, I'm glad you brought that up. There were 2 other minorities that were better suited for the job. They did not pick those individuals. They chose Keith Price. Again, you have to congratulate him because the board made the decision. He did not. He applied for the position and got it. But in fact, there were 2 other people that were more qualified to get that position. So anyway, he's moving on. That's all that we have to share about that announcement. Anything else anybody wants to add about that?
Well, I like to say, Ebony, that still shows again where election have consequences. And those people that voted for him, these citizens need to go back and look at who they voted for that caused that to happen. because that is the consequences of election.
Absolutely. Y'all, we have two more announcements, okay? Bear with us. The NAACP has a new initiative to encourage Medicaid expansion. That is something that does not exist in our state currently. Governor McMaster, not McMaster. This stems back to when Nikki Haley, who was a presidential candidate here recently, you saw, she turned down the expansion of Medicaid. If you don't understand what that means, when former President Obama, signed into law Affordable Health Care Act, what was supposed to happen is that states had the opportunity to expand their Medicaid program so that depending on a person's income, when they apply for insurance, health insurance coverage, they will either have affordable health care that they could pick up through the marketplace. And for those individuals who had lower incomes, they would qualify for Medicaid. That way, every citizen should have been able to get access to some type of health care that is affordable. Well, guess what? Nikki Haley did not expand Medicaid. So what that meant is that you had a huge gap of people who really just didn't have health insurance because they made a little bit too much for Medicaid, but yet they didn't make enough to truly afford health insurance. So we have a lot of uninsured individuals in our state, but the NAACP is on top of that from the national level and on down to the state conference. They're going to be initiating Medicaid educational sessions and application assistance across South Carolina. In this region, there are going to be 4 sessions. It's going to be May 7th in Conway, June 20th in Kingstree, August 22nd in Florence, and September the 19th right here in Georgetown. We're going to be putting more information, concrete information that you can see so that you can tell individuals to come out to these events so that we can help them get insurance that they really need and also help them get other resources that they may need in addition to that, such as food stamps. There are a lot of people that are eligible for it and are just not getting it. I'm tired of hearing people say, oh, I applied for Medicaid, but they told me I made too much money. Or I applied for food stamps and they told me this, that, and the third. No, let a professional help you with the application so that you can fill it out correctly and get those applications submitted. Any word on that from anybody else? Anything?
Yeah, just let it be known, Nikki closed the door on us before she left out as governor, but Henry jumped right in on the bandwagon and continued to close the door on expansion of any kind of Medicare. So just wanted to put that out there, that it started with her, but he's still standing on top of the mantle, holding us down with reference to the expansion of Medicare within the state of South Carolina.
That's exactly right. Then the final announcement today, y'all, is going to be about Habitat. Habitat has a wonderful new initiative. Really, I wanted to put it up on the screen. We will do that next time that we come on Spotlight. Sheldon, you want to explain their new container housing program? Or at least give a little bit of insight on it?
Yeah, so the Habitat for Humanity in Georgetown, they are a very unique branch in which they have ventured out in several aspects of outside of their mission on what they actually do. And one of them is they are supposed to be into a rehabilitation type community where they rehab homes in Georgetown, city of Georgetown, county of Georgetown. They have found a way not only to rehab, but to actually construct homes in the city and the county of Georgetown, little cottages that are for senior personnel and or personnel that meet the actual economic threshold to qualify for one of those houses. So they're taking it a step further. So the U.S. has over the last year or two, maybe a little bit longer, 3, has been the buzzword has been tiny homes, and what tiny homes could do in communities that are in need of affordable housing. They went a little step further and found out that a more cost-effective means to actually providing affordable homes would be using empty containers that you would see on the back of 18-wheelers that are transversing the interstates and in your highways and byways that have goods and services, the containers that come off of the ships, the big ships that you see in the port of Charleston, etc. Using those same containers and making a footprint inside of those containers to be a tiny home or a tiny container home that would be cost effective. It would meet all the requirements with reference to hurricane safety and storm safety, etc. And the prices even half of what the tiny homes were actually going to be. So this coming tomorrow, Thursday, the Habitat for Humanity is going to be having a get-to-know session about the container homes, and actually going to have a couple of containers on site so that you can go inside to see them prefab and the outcome of the actual containers. Very interested, and I'm very I am very happy to see that, and I'm more eager to actually see how the administration in the city and the county is going to embrace this and take advantage of this opportunity to ensure that the people that are underserved are better served by services just like this from Habitat for Humanity.
Y'all, if you are not familiar with container homes, we do have here a article from Channel 15 News. It's like Sheldon was saying, it's a shipping container that you'll see on the back of an 18-wheeler where they'll get these, turn them into small homes, which is awesome. People really need this, and especially piggybacking off of the idea that we don't have affordable housing or enough affordable housing in our area. This is a solution or part of the solution for individuals. Thank you so much for bringing that up.
This process is not new. I'm pretty sure Mr. Neal can remember, and probably even Deontay in the military, when we're in the middle of the desert and we're doing what we need to do to sustain the warfighter and making sure everybody got their bullets and beans and protected. The military uses containers inside the deserts, and they turn those containers inside to command posts or even living quarters for those who are definitely in the middle of the desert. So this is a process that's proven that it is beneficial to those who have a need. And I just hope that the county and the city jump on this feet first and ensure that this is an option for our need for affordable housing in the city and the county of Georgetown.
I spent 1.5 years in one, calling it home in Afghanistan.
There you go.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Well, listen, we thank everyone for joining today's Spotlight, again, which is brought to you by the Georgetown branch NAACP. Ms. Lily's saying that she saw a show called Texas Flip, and they were using containers for homes. So that's pretty awesome. You know, other communities, states, or whatever, they're using them around the world. Why can't we use them here? One good thing about it is you can hardly tear them up, and especially with us having flooding issues, we have tornadoes and hurricanes and things of that nature. People are probably more safer inside of these things than anything else. But anyway, we appreciate you for joining today's Spotlight. We look forward to coming back with you with more information about the happenings of the community of Georgetown. Please remember to share this information with those who you know that are in this area. Also, please know that you can join the NAACP. You can become a member. Please go to our website, or you can give us a call to become a member. And you can also donate. Don't be afraid to donate. Thank you so much for joining today's Spotlight.
Have a good day, everybody.